Testing, 1, 2. Testing. A simple lick. In fact, that's about the simplest you can play that lick. But I wanted to start off. I was in a good mood when I woke up this morning, getting ready to do my 25th episode. Got everything in line. Yeah, we're going to do some giveaways today, but I found out on the internet as soon as I turned it on that Jimmy Buffett, one of my favorite singers of all time, had passed away. So I wanted to start off by just giving a shout out. Hey, Gathering. What started out as a really upbeat day to me has kind of been a little bit of a downer since I found that Jimmy died, and he's kind of been like the heartbeat and the, what I want to say, the musical track of my life. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you're very familiar. If you're a younger person, I encourage you to go out and look for Jimmy Buffett's albums and online and check out his music. But I don't want to stay on a down note, so I just wanted to start off with that simple lick. And of course, that was probably Jimmy's most famous song, Margaritaville. Let me put my guitar down here. So let's go ahead and get started. My mic levels are a little bit high. Thanks everybody for dropping by. Just making sure my guitar wasn't falling over. Yeah, Gathering, I was sad when Eddie passed away as well. He was also big whenever I was growing up as well. But Jimmy just really sang, and he sang about himself. He sang about people he knew. He wasn't pretentious. He was a big star, about the biggest star you could get during the 70s and 80s. And yet he still seemed like a guy that you could walk into a bar and say, hey, Jimmy, sit down and start drinking a beer with, right? So, okay. So with that said, let's go ahead and get on with the stream. I do appreciate everybody stopping by. This is Bronze Dragon bringing you my 25th Saturday morning stand-up. If you went into the shows and you counted, you would say, hey, this is only the 24th. Aha! But there is one lost episode, one episode that got lost to time that did not get saved on YouTube, or it's lost somewhere. I don't even have a recording of it. But this is the 25th episode, and we're going to celebrate a little bit. It's more of my way of saying thank you, just making sure my mic levels appear a little bit high. Either that or I'm talking louder than usual. So, thanks for dropping by. I am going to give away 4 Rift Watchers packs on this stream. This stream may go a little bit longer than usual because I'll have to use one of those wheel things to do the picking. We're going to give one away every 15 minutes. So at 11:45 or 11:45 my time, in about 15 minutes, 12 minutes now, we'll give away a pack, and we'll do that every 15 minutes. Now, when this episode goes up for replay, because I wanted people who are on a different time zone to have a chance at it, who couldn't necessarily see my show live because they live, in Europe or on the other side of the world from me. I'm going to, in the show notes or in the replies, everyone can post a reply, and I'll put this in the show notes, but everybody should put their in-game name, post an idea for me, what you would like to see out of this show going forward, coverage-wise, what you would be interested in. And then next Saturday when we have our show, I'm going to be giving away a beta pack. So get your name in the drawing. If you win today, you can only win once, but everybody can be in on the beta. So go ahead and reply once this show goes up, the replay, and then everybody can get into the drawing. And I'll repeat this at the end of the show for people who didn't catch this entry part. People's Guild is in the house. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering the Magic, no, I did not know that the Baron's Toolbox had a wheel. I just looked up a random wheel of names on online to use because, frankly, I've never used this before. I've seen lots of people on Discord and or on Twitch use them, but I've never done it. So this is going to be a first for me, and we'll see how it goes. Yep. Beta packs are pretty juicy, and I figure I don't do this too often. In fact, this is the first giveaway I've given, so I figured I'd do it right. And I wanted to treat the people that are, you know, in a much different time zone than I am to at least a chance to celebrate with me. So let's go forward. Also, I will mention that to be in on the drawings, you have to be subscribed. So please like and subscribe. There's my advertisement. So. The People's Guild says, wow, what did I just walk into? Giving away beta packs. Well, today I will be giving away 4 Rift Watchers packs, one every 15 minutes. And then in the replies to this show, next week, I will choose from the players that, from the subscribers who leave a show note in this replay, I will pick for the beta pack. So B Jangles just sent me 2 Chaos Legion packs. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Ghostly BG in the house. Thanks for dropping by. Congrats on the 25th. Thanks, People's Guild. People's Guild, just by the way, I got hooked up with the People's Guild this last week, and we're talking it over, and I anticipate being on one of their episodes here coming up. Haven't been scheduled yet, but pay attention, and we'll probably both advertise it whenever it's coming up, so we can see what it sounds like when I get interviewed, which I've never been interviewed really at this point. So the People's Guild says, those will help with the celebration, yeah. Ghostly BG says, bought 330 Rift Watchers packs from the shop yesterday. Feeling pretty good about that. Now the 400k DEC I have for land is in danger because I kind of want to buy 100 more. Yeah, I was in the same situation. I was looking at them. I'm like, oh, I got to leave that DEC there for land. I can't touch it. But it's like, you know. So the People's Guild says, holy moly, Ghostly, nicely done. Yeah, that's a big spender, Ghostly. Much bigger spender than I am. I do anticipate opening a few packs before they go away, but nothing on that scale. I do have, comparatively speaking, very few cards from the Rift Watchers set. But I was really looking at the prices due to, you know, what and the topic for today is really going to be up to you. So I left it completely open, so whatever you all want to talk about, we can go ahead and dive into. But kind of on the Rift Watchers point, and going back to Gathering had talked about this a couple weeks ago, and he's talked about it in a few videos, and so have I. But the numbers of Rift Watchers cards that are going to be out there are going to be so low that you look at the prices, and even for a common, I'm like, you know, I got the thought in my head, well, I should go in and at least look at the commons and get some level 8s. I don't really necessarily need max level because I don't play above. I play gold, and so I'd really only need level 8 commons. But still, these level 8 commons for Rift Watchers were $8, $10, $12, $15, you know. So I'm like, I usually advise people to just buy singles, but at this point, the price point for packs is like, well, you might as well buy some packs and take some chances at it, right? And then fill in on the cards that you really want to level up. But it would be cheaper just to buy some packs and then fill in the ones you want to, in my opinion. Gathering says, grats on the Rift Watchers packs. Those will be a big deal in a few months. Agreed. I do agree on that. And strictly, if you ask me why, I would have to say that, you know, in all card games, really it comes down to scarcity. Obviously, the better the cards that are stronger, which a lot of the Rift Watchers cards are strong to play with, that combined with the scarcity is just, in my opinion, the prices are going to have to be up. There was some discussion on a few different podcasts or a few different YouTube videos on we probably won't see, I believe we probably won't see a whole lot of, not that you can actually tell, but you won't see a whole lot of people staking Rift Watchers cards, because mostly the cards that they do have, which is in very small numbers, they'll be using them to play. So I don't think it'll affect that market too much, but I do anticipate once they've gone away, the numbers of Rift Watchers cards actually out in play and on the market is just going to be very small compared to other expansions. So let me see here. People's Guild says Ghostly wanting those C-Rec airdrops. Yeah, that would be nice. I anticipate, my brother had pinged me, and we were kind of loosely talking about the new C-Rec and uses and such, and I love it. In fact, I don't know if you all know, but I used to be in the Navy. I did a couple tours in the Navy, and I love sea-related items. So I could really see myself just putting together like a C-Rec, and then other sea-related creatures like mermaids and pirates and things, just to play. Might not be a very effective, but it would be cool to come up against a C-Rec with some pirates and what's the sea nymph that heals, and you know what I mean. Crustacean King, things like that. All things from the sea. To me, that would be a pretty cool deck. But the main point is that if you don't get the airdrops and you have to go in and buy singles, I can easily see those starting off at $30-40 at the beginning, so we'll see though. And also I also want to say that if you win a Rift Watchers pack, or if you have Rift Watchers pack, I would wait until after the 7th, after the airdrop, to go ahead and open it to get your chance at the C-Rec drop. So with that said, we're coming up on quarter till the hour. Go ahead and in the comments leave your say entry exclamation point and then whatever your in-game name is, and that will get you an entry. I will have to manually, sorry, I'm very new to this, I'll manually enter everybody on the wheel, and then we'll spin for a Rift Watchers pack. So go ahead and do that now while I catch up with all the statements. Let's see here. The Chunies in the house. Richard, thanks very much. Richard sent me the pack the other day. Vozina, thanks for coming. Good morning. Richard says, I think the mini sets offer better value compared to the main sets. I would agree. And I think the mini sets, even though the main sets are pretty strong, you all know, if you've watched videos, know that I think that probably 80% of Chaos Legion are very strong cards. So, but the smaller sets, obviously, due to the scarcity, they're just nice cards to spice up your deck with, and I do believe that they have higher value or price-wise in the end. So I'm just going to take a minute and enter. I don't have a helper here, so we'll go ahead and enter everybody. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm concentrating on getting everybody added to the list. Virus. Hey, Alex, welcome. If you didn't hear me, go ahead and say enter exclamation point in your in-game name so I can get you put down. Hey, Virus, welcome to the stream. Doing a little 25th stream giveaway here. Hey Ricardo, welcome. Do exclamation point or entry exclamation point and your in-game name to get your name in the drawing for a Rift Watchers pack. Hey, People's Guild, is your in-game name Alex Bernard? Does anybody see their name missing from the list right now? Okay. Okay, we are just over the quarter till the hour. Anybody see their name missing presently before I spin? I'm gonna wait a minute because there's a little bit of a delay here. Okay, I'm doing a countdown. If you do, let's see here. Okay, so I don't see anybody replying that I'm missing their name. So let's go ahead and do a spin. And here we go. And Balsanga wins a Rift Watchers pack. So let's go in and let's go to Rift Watchers pack. Just want to make sure I have that spelled right. Hey, Balsang, is that the correct spelling? Okay, here we go. Okay, one Rift Watchers pack to Balsanga. You'll have to excuse me. This is the first time that I've done giveaways and such here. So let's go on. Okay, so in a few minutes, we'll go ahead and give another giveaway. Once again, I will say that only one pack per person, so we can spread them out a little bit. Let's go ahead and catch up with conversation. Alex says, let's see here. I got more totems at 19.5. Hope it works out. Yeah, I have one common totem for each of my plots, so that means I have 10. I think the average I spent was probably, I don't know, between $15 and $20 there somewhere. So I hope they work out as well. And I hope that there's some kind of, I hope there's something that make the original totems a little bit better than the newer totems that are going to be able to be built, right? Or something that makes them different to distinguish them, the old versus the new. Because the old one's been around for several years, you know, since land plots were sold, right? And they did the original land plot sell to get the totems. So I think there should really be something that puts them up a little bit, maybe a little bit better or a little bit different than whatever the newer totems are going to be. That's just my opinion. Rick says, anyone know how to tell how many total accounts are playing in Gold Modern? I do not know. Does anybody know if there's what website or what tool to use if you can tell how many people are playing in a particular league? The Chuny says, are you planning to accumulate grain for land during 1.5? How will you store it? Okay, so that's an interesting point. So in 1.5, accumulate grain for land. I don't really have a plan to accumulate grain for land before 1.5 starts. I do have some grain from a couple of the packages, but I intend on setting up my land using time crystals to get everything up and running, and I will set up my land so hopefully I have enough grain being produced, a little bit more grain being produced than what's needed for all my plots. So that's my approach. I'm not preloading for grain, but yeah, like Gathering says, when 1.5 is active, there's not going to be a storage limit. And I think we all know this, but that's one of the main things that you're going to have to prepare for when you go into 2.0, because during 1.5, there's going to be this whole series, you know, it might be a year, I don't know, between 1.5 and 2.0, it might be longer, that you're not going to have to really worry about storage. So you can go in, and another approach is you can go in and just farm grain with everything and build up this huge supply, and then come back and change it over to SPS mining or whatever you want, and just do that until you go through your grain and rinse and repeat. Or you can kind of moderate it back and forth. But when we get close to 2.0, or if they decide to put this live in 1.8 or whatever sub-release they have, the whole thing's going to change in 2.0, because there's going to be a whole different layer to the game, as we've been talking about at various times. And one of the main things is it's very similar to other games wherein like TerraCore or Golem Overlord, you have to claim every so often, but you also have a limit, and you have a stat that controls that limit on how much you can control or how much you can hold. And if you hit that limit, then that's the max you're going to make before you do a claim. Okay, so there's several other games with this idea. It's just in 2.0 they will have to come up with a way to implement it, and we've talked about it, whereas the whole idea is to implement storage sites where you have to have silos or whatever to store your grain to increase that. It might be a building you put on your land, and you know, buff up that building and put money into it to make it a bigger silo or whatever, so that you can hold more. But that's going to be 2.0. So let's see here. Weird Mix Shorts is looking for a battle. Says, anyone do a battle? Send him an invite for a battle if anybody's active for one. I don't do battles a lot during live streams because I'm paying attention to a lot of other stuff. Yeah, Gathering says no storage limit for 1.5. Tooney says, will there be a market in which we can trade grain tokens while we wait for 2.0? Okay, so 1.6, as far as I know, the liquidity pool for grain is slated, okay? And that is going to be the way to buy, sell, trade grain, as far as I know. So the answer is yes, it's supposed to come in between 1.5 and 2.0 in a sub-release, where they've started talking about this 1.6 release. That's one of the items. So, and as you all know, if you've been watching the videos or watching my videos, and other people are concerned with this as well too, I just don't like the idea of having to trust somebody that I don't know and send them my grain and say, oh, okay, send me, I'll sell you this grain, you send me this much. There's no mechanism into place where you can't get hosed on the deal, right? And we've all probably seen other games where you're using a blind trust model and you get hosed because they don't end up fulfilling their part of the bargain, right? I don't like that. I think it's weird that 1.5 released without that, is going to be released without that, but it's obvious that that may be one of the items that was going to hold up 1.5, you know, because the mechanism's in place on the back end. So I'll give them that, but I do believe that they said that's slated for 1.6. So we are coming up on 11:55. I'm going to do another drawing at the top of the hour. Let me take a drink here because I've been doing a lot of talking. How's everybody's week doing? Here in the States, we are going on to Labor Day weekend, which signifies the end of the summer here. Pools are closing, things of that nature. I got Monday off. think we're going to get some steaks and throw them on the grill. Nothing much else planned, though. Probably do some chores. Let's see here. People's Guild says, word on the street is Sylar Xbot has one underway at the Chuny. I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. What is Sylar planning? Yeah, I drink my water every day too, but I also like sparkling ice. This is not an advertisement, but I am guilty of liking a soda now and again. I do like beer too, for what it's worth. It's 98% water. So, Chuny says, nice. I asked Sylar and he said it's in development, so that would be nice. Richard says, does anyone else play in silver? The chests do not have a lot of cards. You know, Richard, I put out both of my account chest openings, and my secondary account does play in silver. And I agree that the amount and the number of cards seems to be very low in silver, which predominantly to me, obviously as you go up, you need increasingly higher amounts of cards to be able to level up your cards. But at a certain point, like in Diamond and Champ, you end up with maxed out cards, so all that extra is excess, right? In silver, you've got relatively newer players that are trying to build their decks, and it's just really hard. But I can see their point. The whole point has been that they're trying to moderate people from coming into the game and spending very little money on whether it's, you know, investing in SPS to stake it or, you know, investing in cards or what have you, and drawing out of the system without spending much money. So I can see, and if you've been playing for very long, you know that they've been doing this since I started playing, right? And this is 2.5 years later. They've been trying to moderate the system. It's not a perfect system like they always say. They're on the forefront here, you know, and I'll give them that credit. You know, I've been a gamer since games came out in the 60s or not 60s, I'm not that old, but in the late 70s when video games started coming out, I've been a gamer. But this Web3 gaming is so cutting edge and new that they're really breaking new ground. And I can see that it's really hard when you have a bunch of money involved. It's hard moderating the process to make it, you know, as well as I do, that if there's anybody that can take advantage of a system that is slightly broken in one way, they will. And we've seen it, and for 2.5 years I've been playing, they've been talking about it. It's really weird, and I've said this before, I'm sorry, but it's really weird that they came out with this game and they said, oh yeah, I want to be ready for the pack draw in a couple minutes. So if you want to get in on the noon Eastern time pack draw in 2 minutes, put exclamation point entry and your in-game name in the chat now, and in a couple minutes I will update the list and we'll spin the wheel. So go ahead and do that now. I removed Balsanga from the wheel because fair's fair, you know, just spread out the winnings across everybody. So go ahead and put your name in the in-game name in with entry exclamation point, and I will update the list. Meanwhile, I will catch up with what's being said. Alex says, I have 2 race cars outside, need to be fixed before next weekend. Driver's been wrecking them. Oh, nice. I like cars. I've been known to like cars. What kind of engines you working with, Alex? Not to derail this conversation, but I like to talk about engines too. Gathering says, I play in silver. I know you don't get 33% card drop in bronze. Well, like I said, the drops are very hit and miss, very RNG. Like in my silver, if you watched my last drop or chest openings the other day, 60% of my chests were potions. I've got thousands of potions, literally. So, well, not on the silver account, but on my main account, I've literally got more than 1,000 of each potion. So, William, thanks for dropping by. William says, anyone know about the tower defense development issue? The last I heard is that, okay, so the development team that was developing the game handed it over to the Splinterlands development team, and they are very tight-lipped about why, but their general reasoning was they wanted to review the code and make sure it worked with, you know, the current setup, the back end that they're running Splinterlands on. I don't really want to draw any inferences into that. It sounds to me kind of like something happened, and as we know, that's going to be put, you know, it's being put behind land. So after land 1.5 comes out, then they'll start working on that. It was very odd to me because I thought that they had that development team was just going to hand it off to them, and then they could, you know, do a few things and go live. But it sounds like they've got some more development work. Something happened. So I don't have any more information than that. We'll go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and update this list and see if we have. Okay, so Gina B says enter. That's a new name. We will enter UX. Okay, I got that. Mind Blaster's on the list. Vozina's on the list. Right there. Ghostly BG's still on the list. Jovac's still on the list. Let's enter William. Get you on the list. Schizo's on the list. Yeah, I know Weird Mix likes cars. He talks about them frequently. People's Guild, good luck all. Alex Bernard, you need to open some packs, use the potions. Yeah, well, you know my story. I've been working on land, so I do agree. I love opening packs. So Vozina says, you are ready for Rebellion pack sales. Yeah, and I was talking about this with somebody else as well. Let's go ahead and do this drawing. Does anybody see if their name is missing here? Is Chuny still here? Chuny, are you still here? VT Mac Guru, are you still here? Just checking. Speak up or not forever hold your peace. Okay, I'm removing VT Mac Guru, and unless you're still here, go ahead and speak up. And Chuny, are you still here? Oh, okay. I'll add you back. I just wanted to double check. Okay. Okay, let's go. And then we can keep talking. Here we go, folks. Another Rift Watchers pack given away. And oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored by this is just coming out of my pocket. Schizo wins a pack. Yeah, Chuny, I left you on the list. Sorry, just did it, Anira. You can catch the next one, though. Let's go ahead. Schizo. One. Is that spelled correctly? Schizo. Speak up. Yeah, Nira, we'll be having another one in 15 minutes, so you can get in on it. Okay. One Rift Watchers pack. Yeah, I just wanted to do something to kind of celebrate the, 25 weeks in a row doing something. That's a while, So, okay, let's see. Let's scroll back a little bit and see what we're talking about. So I think the main topic people were talking about, the low card rate in silver. I do agree. As you know, my secondary account plays silver. I get very few cards, so it makes it hard to kind of build up levels. But I can also see where it's hard to moderate that as a. There's like two sides of this. One, you're trying to make a good game, and two, you're trying to make a investment infrastructure that people can earn off of, but not limit the amount of abuse that happens, right? So, Tower Defense 2025. I don't know. I have no further insight into that. I'm just replying what I hear on the town halls. It's going to be after land, obviously. But we went from a situation where it seemed really strong, and the company that was working on it, and the company escapes my name, or escapes my mind, but it seems like maybe they handed it off and it was in partial development, or there was a significant amount of development still needed to be done to make it live. So that's my best guess. So they may have handed it over and it just needs several good QA passes through it to check the code and make sure that everything's working. But they've also changed how they were talking about the game itself. And, way back, they started talking about, staking cards on tower defense and also doing different staking pools and things like that. So they stopped in the past 6 months really giving any details about it. So I'll be interested to see how it comes out. I really like tower defense games. I'm not really on board with the art style they chose for the game, but I'll be trying it out, and I hope for the best for it, obviously. Let's see. Gathering says, and I know somebody mentioned last week that, hey, why do I say who says each statement every time? And thinking about it, there are people that watch this back. In fact, there are probably more people that watch this show on replay than there are that watch it live. And the words are very small when you're viewing them, and some people just don't even watch. They just listen while they're doing other work. So I do this as a benefit for those people, really. Gathering says, hope vouchers get used to help pay for transportation fees and taxes. That's an interesting idea. That's the first time I heard that. But I do agree that they need to bring value to vouchers. And anybody who holds a node will probably agree with me. I don't have a whole lot of vouchers. I have 163 because I've just been really taking what the game's given me over time for, my SPS that's been staked. But there are a lot of people, well, not a lot. There are people that invested in the nodes, and that is what I view one of the kind of not forgotten about, but backburnered items that has happened because of the decrease in the amount of team that they have to work on, the whole work stream, right? So I can see whereas if you invested in a node, you would be really, kind of looking at the amount of vouchers you have and being like, I need some value here, especially when, as far as I know, the nodes are going, I don't know what they're going for now, but, over $1,000, $2,000, something like that. That's a huge investment in the game. And I think that sometimes when we watch these shows, this is going back to how I originally feel. If you haven't watched some of my earlier YouTube videos, I started out and really my approach was from the bottom up. There was a lot of people who were doing videos from the top up. Hey, I opened 1,000 packs today, and I spent $7,000 in this. My approach was the exact opposite, how to kind of build build your cards up and build them up economically and try to get some out of the game. And I never tried to abuse the game, but I try to get, and at this point I've spent thousands of dollars myself, but I'm not a big cheese in the game, right? So I guess my main point is that, and I completely lost my main point. I get into this rambling manner and I'm sorry. Let's go back and look at the comments. Back on vouchers. My main point was that if you went in and you bought a node, that's a huge amount of money. And the team just really doesn't seem to me to, I'm sure they realize how much money the small population, the relatively small population of gamers who play Splinterlands have put into this game. But they probably notice because they've got the numbers, right? But they don't recognize it on a usual basis, because to me that'd be a big thing, because you've got people that spent thousands and thousands of dollars on nodes and they're like, that's a back burner item. I agree that land is probably a bigger item, but I also agree that if you were coming up with this system to have people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on nodes, that would be pretty high priority, and you would have a team just working on that to get that up and going to provide those investors. And let's be clear, that's what you are if you bought a node. You're an investor in the system. So sorry for this side rant that I got off on a tangent, but I just wanted to bring that up. So the Toonie says, do you see any catalyst that will get SPS turned around besides a Bitcoin bull run? Obviously, we all know everything follows Bitcoin, and I'm happy to see that DEC is actually, let's do a refresh here, actually staying pretty moderated. I don't see any bull run happening without Bitcoin, but I'm glad to see DEC is kind of staying moderated. I'm surprised that SPS has dove as much as it has. And you know me, I don't really give out investment advice. In fact, if I had to, all my investment advice would be do exactly opposite of what I do, But I don't see a bull run without Bitcoin. I do see SPS benefiting from land 1.5 coming out, because I do think, and I hate this whole term, the flywheel, but if you think about it logically, once land 1.5 goes out, people who have invested in land heavily will have to buy a bunch of DEC to get up and running, and therefore when the amount of available DEC is gone through, then they'll just have to start burning SPS, which would affect the SPS price. So hopefully, crossing fingers, that's the way it works. But I don't see any way that doesn't happen unless people just don't play land, But then again, I don't see that happening because a lot of people have put a lot of money into land. I mean, I only bought 10 plots, and I'm in the at least $2,000 range when you consider all things considered, right? So I just don't see getting this far and not go ahead and committing to it. And I guess that's overall why I would say it's going to affect SPS. Is it going to be a bull run? Probably not, but it should affect it in a positive way. Richard says, would more cards in the lower level be better and you get more SPS at higher levels? They've really changed the focus from cards to SPS staking. So I think in my mind, as you're playing and leveling up at this point, you have to look at the amount of SPS you have staked. And say, for instance, you want to move from silver 3 to silver 2. You have to, first of all, make sure you have the proper amount of SPS staked to play in Silver 2 to get really good rewards, right? And then look at your cards that you have to increase the levels on. And as I've always said, I think you need to start with your summoners, take them to max. Like for silver, you'd want to make sure that your summoners, the main summoners you play with, are level 4. Start with your rare summoners, and then it's always nice to pick up one of the nicer summoners, one of the epic summoners or legendary summoners, right? If you can, if that fits in your budget. And then look at the cards you're playing heavily that bring good value to your hand, and then make sure that they're to the max level to what your summoner can play. So I'll give you an example, just to give you an example. So let's go to owned. Let's go to let's just go to Chaos Legion. So Kelia, who is the water summoner, is one of my most played summoners. Silver, gold, doesn't matter. Okay, so I would say you want that to level 4, right? When you can. And then you go ahead and look at your other cards. And I've just got Chaos Legion up here because there's really good, strong cards in Chaos Legion. Things like Flying Squid, Deep Lurker, Demon Shark. All these are really good, commonly played cards that are really strong when played together, right? Medalli Guardian, strong card in certain situations where you need to throw a healer in, Cruel Cephalopod. On the surface, doesn't look that great. Low mana matches, this thing kills, right? So things like that. Look at your cheaper cards that bring good value to your hand and increase the strength, and go with those first. Increase them. There's no reason, I think, to outstrip the level of your summoner. In other words, buy a card or increase the level to too high that your summoner can't cast, unless you find a good deal. We all know that when you're shopping for cards, a lot of times you can find good deals on multiple BCX cards, and you're saving money per BCX. It's a little bit more than you wanted to spend starting off, but you've got a max level card, or you've got a couple levels to work into to your next level. So say, for instance, you're in bronze and you want to prepare for silver. You could buy level 6, and save a little money if you see one on the market. There's that. Let's go ahead and I missed the timer. Everybody put in the chat exclamation point entry and your in-game name, and we'll update the wheel and do another drawing, and then we'll get back to statements. While everybody's doing that, yeah, Chuny, I'm still playing Golem Overlord. We can take a look at that in a minute after we do the drawing. So let's go over here to the wheel, and we'll remove Schizo because he won a pack last time. Once again, everybody put entry, exclamation point, and your in-game name in the chat to get in on the drawing for a Rift Watchers pack. And once again, if you weren't listening at the very beginning, I'm also giving away a beta pack. When this live stream gets posted on, when it goes up for the rewatch, and I'll put this in the show notes, but just go ahead and put your in-game name and put an idea that you have for my show. What you would like to, it's pretty simple. What would you like to see out of this show? What kind of coverage do you like to see? I've covered all kinds of things, from entry level to multiple different games and to even not Web3 games. So go ahead and put that in the chat. And then next week, I will draw and do a drawing from those people that replied to that video. So, and once again, that'll be a beta. So let's go through the names, make sure everybody's on there. Chuny's on there. Anira, let's add Anira. Thanks for dropping by. New name. I always love to see new names. B-Jangles is on there. Hero's on there. Let's see. Garut. Hey, Garut. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. We're giving away a Rift Watchers pack. Dennis, thanks for dropping by. Adding Denvik. BTC Mac Guru still in the house. Thank you very much. Still on the list. Ghostly BG is still on the list. Okay, I'm running a little bit behind, but that's all right. We knew that this stream was going to go a little bit like that since I've never really done this before. Okay, anybody present that doesn't have their name on the list that wants to be on the list? Speak up or hold your peace for another 15 minutes. I'll wait for a minute because there's a little bit of a delay. Thanks everybody for dropping by. Do appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe, all that. Okay, so it looks like that's everybody. So let's go ahead and spin it. One Rift Watchers pack going out to Mind Blaster. Mind Blaster. Let's go ahead and go over to my packs. Congratulations. One Rift Watchers pack going out to Mind Blasters. Thank you. Long-time subscriber. He's been with me since the beginning. Appreciate that. Mind Blaster says, I'd like to see ideas on rule sets and what is the best way to play a hand with certain rule sets. Example, if a rule set has amplify. Yeah, you know, I had talked about this a few weeks ago, and I do want to get into doing like replays and discussions about certain rule sets and what are good plays. I've been delayed in doing that because, frankly, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best player. I do have a good handle on certain situations, but there are so many different combinations of rule sets, especially as you go up in leagues, that it just gets really complicated. For instance, I can kind of firmly speak on bronze and silver, and then mostly gold. But once you start getting into diamond and champ, the combinations kind of get really crazy at some point. So I do agree. That is on my list, so I will be looking into that. Let's see. Hey, Daniel, welcome to stop by. Thanks for stopping by, rather. We have one more pack to give away. Plus, we will be giving, I will be giving away a beta pack. So, and I'll leave a note in the show notes, but I basically want everybody to reply to the posting of this video with their ideas of what they want to see out of the show and their in-game name. And next week, everybody who replied, I'll put on the wheel to win a beta pack. So that'll kind of top off this kind of 25th episode celebration. So I do appreciate everybody stopping by. I do try to do this. I don't try. I have done this 25 weeks solid. So we'll keep pushing for another 25 weeks. And the more people that are here, the more ideas that are out there, and the easier it is. There's a lot of stuff it's basically all knowledge, right? When we're all talking about, we're all interested in all the different Web3 games that we're playing on the Hive blockchain, primarily Splinterlands. And I think we're at a lull right now, or at least I feel like we're in a lull. Have a great weekend, Vozina. Thanks for dropping by. The People's Guild, cheers for the stream, Bronze Dragon. Good night from this side of the world. Thanks for dropping by, People's Guild. I'll talk to you later. And Daniel, like I said, we will be giving away one more pack here in a few minutes to kind of cap this off. I feel like we're kind of in a lull, right, with the game. But that is just because I'm waiting for land. Now, other people who have recently done the switch over, and like Rick, he has, I know because we discuss once in a while, he has stayed in Modern, and by stayed I mean he discontinued using the Archmage bot and he's playing live in Modern, and we've been discussing, he's obviously been buying more cards, beefing up his deck, trying to get better, so with his strategy. So I can see if you were doing that and not so much aimed at land, that there'd be a lot going on. It's just I've kind of went through this process where I was heavily preparing for land, and then I got prepared, and now it's kind of in a lull, just waiting for land to release, right? So there are a lot of things to talk about, and it just depends upon how you're approaching the game. Ricardo says, if you're playing Bronze or Silver League, be prepared to face Martyr a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent point. And I've been thinking about this and how to discuss this, that the new cards that have entered the game especially have really, they've affected the meta, as it were, how the whole game's being played. Because all these cards, a lot of these cards in the new reward set that are dropping are heavily based around Martyr, and Martyr arguably has a stronger effect at lower levels than it does at higher levels. I mean, I am seeing it, and it does have an effect at higher levels, but at lower levels, it can really be devastated if used correctly. So I would suggest looking at and not discounting the, let's go ahead and go over here, to rewards, soulbound. So your soulbound summoners, I would say if you haven't taken a look at them, take a heavy look at your rewards, your newer rewards summoners, and look at their powers, their abilities, if you haven't, and start making use of them, because once you drop these, then you can go ahead and add an extra gladiator card, right? And that can be, gladiator cards are very strong, and it can be the difference between, especially in bronze and silver, back to Ricardo's point, right? Earlier somebody, just to kind of switch gears a little bit, somebody had asked if I was still playing Golem Overlord. I am. And I'm actually finding myself dropping back a little bit because my strategy is not working as well as some others. Let's go ahead and look in my guild. Mind Blaster and Anira have outstripped me in level, and I need to really talk to them to get a better hold on the strategy on what's working for them, because I mainly approached this from a defensive point of view and started beefing up my fortification and my faith early on. And then I learned that I was really falling behind in scavenger golems, so I really put pressure into beefing up my scavenger golems and my bank, and also pushing for prestige by dumping a lot into that. So that's where I stand. My strategy didn't end up working out as much as well as some others, so more to be said on that later. I do want to do a video on how this game stands, and what money I'm making and or not making compared to, and I don't know, I thought about taking down that original video I had posted, because at the very beginning, this game was making so much money, and now it's just not making a lot of money. It's still fun to play, and it's much cheaper to get into today and get up and running than what it was. But that's a double-edged sword, right? It's more expensive and you make more, or you make less and it's less expensive to get into. So I'm still having fun. I'm still playing TerraCore 2, which is or TerraCore also, which is relatively kind of the same type of game. They do have some important differences, but also playing those. We are coming up on the last pack draw. So in the comments, go ahead and leave, hey, BB Omega, thanks for dropping by. You caught the last pack draw, the 4th Riftwatcher pack I will be giving away. So everybody in the comments, go ahead and leave !entry and then your in-game name, and we will do the 4th Riftwatcher pack drawing. and I will catch up with what's being said in comments. I appreciate everybody dropping by. Let's see here. Let's update the wheel. We're going to remove him. No. I forgot to enter. Spartacus 12 still on there. Ghostly BG still on there. Voazine is on there. Chuni's on there. Garut is on there. BB Omega is on there. Hero's on there. Denvik is on there. Clab Harpan is on there, just added. Anira still on there. Garut. Shadow Blaster still on there. VT Mac Guru still on there. Jovac, are you still here? Just going to go through the list and see if anybody's dropped off. I'm just seeing if he said goodbye. Oh yeah, he said he was off to town, so we will remove him. Virus, you still here? B Jangles, are you still here? As y'all can see, I don't do this very often, so I'm not very efficient at it. Okay. B Jangles, are you still here? Okay, we're going to remove B Jangles. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most I've had, maybe ever. I don't know. But thanks for everybody's time. I do appreciate it. We do this. I don't do giveaways all the time. This is the first, but we do this show every Saturday at 11:30 Eastern, and we usually go for an hour. And we generally just talk about Splinterlands stuff and other, gaming stuff on the Hive blockchain, and sometimes just regular games, So, okay, is there anybody here that does not see their name on the list and would like to be added to the list? Speak up or forever hold your peace. Yes, I would like it if you hit the like button. I do appreciate that. And like I said, there will be a beta pack giveaway. All you have to do is, when this show is posted here in a few minutes, just go ahead and drop in the comments and leave your in-game name and an idea what you'd like to see out of the show going forward, what type of comment. Okay. So let's go ahead and... Hey, Alex, what's your in-game name again? Sorry, I can't keep up with everybody's in-game name. I probably should know that already, but... Yep, I agree. Everyone should subscribe. So, let's go ahead. I think it's ready to go here. Let's go ahead and hit the wheel. Last giveaway of the hour. And Anira! Thanks for dropping by. Guess what? You won a Rift Watchers pack. So, a pack goes out to a new name. Always love to see new names. If my page would load. Nira, 1 Rift Watchers pack. So there you go. Anybody who got a Rift Watchers pack, or if you're thinking about buying some this week, I would save them until after the airdrop happens, which is probably going to be on the 7th, on around the 7th, the 6th, 7th, or 8th, somewhere in there. I would wait for that to happen before you open your Rift Watchers pack, and then you can have a chance at a C-Rec, which I love the look of. I do think that the singles coming out of the gate are going to be very expensive, as they usually are, plus compounded by the fact that there's not a whole lot of stock of Rift Watchers that's going to be out there, and we've been talking about that lately. So get your packs while you can. I'm not FOMOing. I'll probably buy another 10 or 20 packs or something like that. I'm not going to do a big buy, but I'll probably do a video because I do need some more. So with that said, I appreciate everybody dropping by. I appreciate what's led up to this, 25 different live streams right in a row, along with the rest of the stuff on my my channel. I like really covering this type of game content, and I really like interacting with everybody and getting to know people. So with that said, I do appreciate it. I hope you liked everything. Give me a like and subscribe. And once again, look in the show notes here in about 5-10 minutes, and I will update and leave your leave a comment with what you'd like to see out of out of my coverage going forward. And remember to put your in-game name. Stop by next week at the same time, and we will do the giveaway for the beta pack. With that said, this has been Bronze Dragon, and I hope everyone is happy and healthy, especially here in this on this holiday weekend in the States. I hope everybody enjoys themselves. Stay safe. Don't do anything I would do, and I will see you on the flip side.